Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Greene. I'm the CEO and blender of Provision Spirits in Texas. So we started our year based on some general rules that you really are taught when you're learning to expand and you're willing to really grow a business, which is that you own your own state. Of course, we had to quickly change. And I think the word of the year was pivot. In fact, I think some people say they don't even want to hear that word anymore, but that's exactly what we had to do. And we like to call it a couple shifts that we had to really do very quickly. And the first was a shift in mindset. So the first thing in shifting in mindset was to do things quickly, to really make quick, effective, good decisions we didn't have time to review things by committee. We knew we had to really save and grow our business, and we had to shift our mindset from going it alone, meaning like getting very inside and working with our own team, and how are we going to do all this, to bringing that outside in, like how are we going to bring what's happening in the outside into our inside and tap into those networks to help us and really understand what's happening. We had to shift our production quickly. First responders were going to need something. In fact, they would pull up and they'd say, do you have a case of sanitizer? Nursing homes, police departments, you name it. We shifted our sales very quickly to curbside. It's very difficult in Texas. You can only sell 2 bottles per person per month. So we had to do whatever we could quickly to start getting sales in the door. We had to shift our plan. The distillery team, our agency partner, Big Thirst Marketing, who many of you know. We hired other parts of a team that we didn't have that we're going to need very quickly, people to help us drive ourselves into new markets, to really understand better pricing and programming in other states. We knew we had to pivot quickly there because we really knew we had to develop sales and marketing to shift from our deep Texas only. So this is where we really thought we would be doing, to a much wider platform. And also we hired people. We didn't want to lose anybody. So we knew we had to shift and go national quickly. The first thing we did was our off-premise focus. So craft brands, you put your oxygen mask on, and where your sales right now, it's going to be your off-premise. You gotta, how are you going to get to that consumer? If you don't have an off-premise channel, you don't have a way to get to your consumer. We knew on-premise, a great way to reach consumer. We didn't have that option. So we had to expand distribution. We worked tirelessly to extend our market reach to 10 states. We went from Texas to the top whiskey markets in the country very quickly. We hired Elena Medic, who is my right-hand woman right now when it comes to distribution, pricing, getting those channels open. We worked 12 hours a day. We tapped into my deep network. We wanted to see what we could do to really get those channels open very quickly. So we expanded that distribution. And then once we got that distribution, those distribution channels open very quickly, we created a new store locator for our website. We drove traffic to it very quickly by taking the zip codes of the off-premise retailers in those states, and then did a geo-target campaign to really help drive consumers to the brick and mortar stores that were just beginning to take us in. So as you know, if you are a craft distiller, if you're expanding your market, it's not enough to be on the shelves. You have to constantly be thinking, how do I get those bottles moving off the shelves? And by doing these things, store locators, geo-targeting campaign, we were basically showing our retail partners and our distribution partners we were serious, and we were going to back up that distribution channel with actual marketing efforts as well. And this is where Big Thirst Marketing really came into play with us, because we took that store locator and then we built basically a brand new website around it. We cleaned up our design. We launched a brand new website in the fall with a design that mirrors the elegance of our packaging. Again, we know who our target consumer is. Absolutely, for craft brands, make sure you know who your segment is. You cannot be all things to all people. We know where we are, we know where we sit. We doubled down on that in our design, in our language, in our efforts for a digital platform off our website. So the overriding design principle was to make it easy for people to reach our whiskeys. So once we had the off-premise channels open through our distribution network, where we tapped into our network quickly and pivoting our decision-making to move out of Texas. So you see that shift in mindset, reaching out, getting out of Texas very quickly, building the new website, geo-targeting, we had support. Then came our e-commerce platform. Of course, now, again, how do you reach the consumer? We knew that they were going to be buying online. So now we've got this 360-degree effort going. We evaluated methods and partners to launch an online shopping functionality for shipping to 41 states. So while we were in brick and mortar in 10, this allowed us very quickly to announce a national campaign of 41 states. So now we're a craft distiller who originally had a plan for Texas, and now we could explode onto the scene and basically talk about being a national brand for the first time. Along with our off-premise, now that we've opened that, our e-commerce platform, all of that other stuff, the geo-target and the e-marketing campaigns that we did, we launched a really great tool we call our newsletter, our distilled note newsletter. So that is relevant information, our recipes, easy ways to buy our whiskey, video content. But it's more than just like releasing a newsletter. I mean, this is really, unless you're building that as a good customer retention tool, you know, there's really not much of a function because you're really trying to engage your consumer, you're trying to find your consumer, and you're trying to help them get to your brand as easily as possible. So what we did was we took our, again, we knew where our retailers were, we knew what zip codes these stores were sitting in, we aligned our e-commerce, our digital campaigns to align with those zip codes. So you can basically geo-target, but also actually create a map around those stores to target them. And then through our website, really watch how people were going through our website to our partner to order. And then we started watching our conversion rates. We started looking at our conversion rates. We looked at the open rates, and they were sky high for a craft brand, because I think all of those things came together in a 360 circle, and I think they all have to work together. So you have an e-newsletter, but you got to make sure that that e-newsletter is driving people to those results that you're hoping they're going to get, which is to a purchase. So you're looking at your conversion rates, you're making sure that you're reaching the right consumer, you're making sure that your retailer knows you're doing all this effort, so that when someone goes into the store, they say, hey, have you heard of Milam Greene? You know, they're a great brand, and they know that you're supporting them from the back end on this 360 thing. But nothing is fully complete without a great PR campaign to really drive it home. So once we were really able to penetrate, by the end of the year, 41 markets via either brick and mortar stores or online, that's when we knew we really needed to bang out our PR strategy to let people know we're there. Our shift from, again, so originally during our launch, we were very focused on Austin American Statesman, Houston Chronicle, you know, the local papers and community here in Austin, and then also Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston. We knew very quickly, we better get into the major trade publications. We reached out to Food and Wine. We were in Forbes magazine, VinePair, American Whiskey, really just a massive effort to share our product, share our story, make sure people knew we were here. We know people want to buy nice premium spirits from small craft brands. So we just knew that we had to get that out there. So really, in sum, this case study was about, again, that shift in mindset, quick decision-making, tapping into as much of that network you have, and then making sure that all these different ways to reach your consumer were opened, and that this 360 was tied together with a really great PR campaign. And that's how we did it. And we thrived, we did well. And thanks again to Big Thirst Marketing, thanks to Elena Medic, Sarah Bomberger, who's our fabulous photographer, Jennifer Muller, who's our designer, and then my team, who have been tireless and really trying to make this work, and having the energy and the morale every single week to have staff calls and figure out how we're going to do this. So I feel very lucky and very fortunate, and I wish you all a healthy and vibrant and prosperous new year.